Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. Today we are in the city of Crater Lake and we are going to be building an Olympic stadium. I think it's going to be really fun. I want to start incorporating some lore into the cities, and so what we're going to say is because of the rich oil fields here and its propensity towards being more of a modern city, we are going to say that the city and a few people within the city, probably some oil executives, are wanting to put in a bid to host the Olympics. And so I think it's going to be really fun. We're going to end up doing some redeveloping. And this is something that I haven't really done a whole lot in my cities. And so I'm actually pretty excited. We are going to pretty much demolish all of this area right here. And we are going to build the stadium right here. And then we're going to do an Olympic village right here with probably another stadium. And then we're going to do a bunch of parking and just a really cool design. But then we are also going to be building another stadium over here. As many of you know, I mean, to host the Olympics, you need to have quite a few stadiums. And so we're going to do a really big train station, end of line train station right here, and then a really big stadium. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. I think it's going to be really fun. We have a couple considerations because this is our agricultural area. We are going to lose a lot of money, and we keep fluctuating between like plus 50,000 per week to like minus 40,000. We are spending a ton of money on a lot of stuff like education, road maintenance, healthcare is a huge one, almost 80,000 a week. And so we're going to have to figure out something to do with our agricultural area. And so we still do have fertile land across the way where we are going to do our forestry business. And so I think we're definitely going to have to incorporate that as well as expand out our oil industry, because we're just not going to be making enough money once we get rid of this. The oil business is doing pretty good, and I think we have one factory over here. Yeah, we do. So we have the clothing factory, which actually uses the food stuff, but then we also have this one right here. So plastics and petroleum, household plastics factory. And so we are definitely going to have to pay attention to these. I don't know why that was not on 150, because in order to fund this project, we are going to need a ton of money, and it's pretty common for cities to become actively involved in the funding process, either through issuance of bonds or just direct investment from the city. And so we're going to try to avoid that. We want to try to privately monetize this as much as possible. And so the first thing we're going to do is pause the game, and we need to move our trash service. So we have a tram depot over here, and then we have our two bus depots. So we have the biofuel bus depot, and I believe, I think it's this one right here. Yeah, the regular bus depot. And so before we just delete all this stuff, we really need to redo them, because otherwise our lines just all disappear. And so I think what we're going to do is go ahead and start moving some stuff over here. So we are going to just go ahead and move them. We'll grab this building. We're going to say move. We're going to move it way over here. We're going to put it on the main building since this is just a bus depot. But then we're going to do the same thing for the biofuel bus depot. We're going to shift it over here. And we are just going to imagine that they are building a new building for this, that the building isn't just flying over the city being replaced like that. And then we need to build a trash service. We have a ton of trash over here, trash services over here. And then we need to figure out a good place for our tram depot. I think our tram depot can actually fit right here. Let's go ahead and see though. So we'll jump in here, trams. I think it will fit so close to one of these. Where is it? We don't have a tram stop right there. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and delete this, and we're going to make this a little bit shorter, and it does mess up our grid a little bit, but this is going to be so important. So we're going to grab this, connect it up right there, and then let's go ahead and slide in our tram depot right here. Yeah, there we go. It did get rid of our little gate right there, but this would be so essential for the city because we do not want to lose our trams. And so that is something that we need to get done. And so I think we will move some of these. We're going to move the oil derricks over. And again, we're just going to imagine that these are being rebuilt somewhere else. They're not just magically flying around. Then we're going to place this crude oil storage cavern right here. And then we're going to move this one as well. And then what we're going to do is go in here, and we're actually going to delete all this, just because this is going to be a really great location for our trash. And then what we're going to do is come back in and do some more oil derricks and stuff, since that really is the moneymaker for this area. And so now let's jump in here. And I think we may need to upgrade our trash too. Yeah, we're like right at the edge of processing, so maybe we'll put 2 of these here. I think that looks pretty good. It's definitely a hodgepodge, but it's in our industrial area, which looks really great. And this doesn't look too bad. It is up on the hill a little bit. I think what we'll do though is place a few trees around this just to kind of bring it together a little bit. And there we go. So we got some trees around it. We got it all set up. I'm pretty sure there's already water here too. Yeah, there is. It is not underneath the roads there, but I feel like it's going to be okay here. And so now let's jump over here. We can go ahead and get rid of those buildings. So we're going to get rid of the waste transfer facility. We're going to get rid of all these recycle centers. We're going to get rid of the 2 landfills and then the recycle centers down here. And then what we're going to have to do is kind of gauge how bad of a position that puts us in. I mean, it actually looks like we're much better now because we put that second one. That's why that second one was going to be so important. So we're going to get rid of these as well, these incineration plants. And then we need to move our postal service, and we need to move this water service as well. And so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to move the postal service over there as well. This is really just becoming a mega industrial area, but we're going to go ahead and place that right there. And then we are going to move our small post office, road maintenance as well. And this one's super important. We're going to place that right there. And then let's go ahead and move this as well. I would like this not to be... Where am I? Oh, right there. Yeah, we're right here would be good if we can get it. Yeah, perfect. Nice. I really like how we're getting this area kind of more congested as well. Having it just all open has been kind of bothering me a little bit, even though it is oil fields, but I like that we're getting a little more buildings in here, so it's kind of like just more congested. So now let's look at what else we got. I know we got a factory right here, so let's go ahead and move our bread factory over to our factory district. Ooh, and we actually got a little spot. Nice. And then we just need to make sure that we have animal products, crops, and flour, which I'm pretty sure we do. So that's commercial zone goods. We have petroleum. We have our factory. I think these ones over here. So animal products, plastics, crops. So we don't have a flour one. So let's go ahead and place down a flour warehouse over here. Thought we already had one, but I guess we didn't have any buildings that needed it. So we're going to go ahead and place that one there. And we're going to do that one as well. And then we're going to go ahead and place one of these as flour. And I'm pretty sure we have unique factory products over here too, right? We don't. That's so weird. All right, so we're going to place one of these as unique factory products as well. I wonder how those were getting out. I wonder if they were shipping them over to the other side. So this should actually help out a lot. I can't believe we didn't have any unique factory products right there. All right, so now let's jump over here. So we moved that, and then now what we need to do is go ahead and I think we're just going to move it all. So we're just going to come in here, we're going to grab this, and we're going to go across the street. I think we're going to come up here and fill this area in. I think this is going to be great. This is really a big project. So we're going to come up here, and then let's go ahead and just do a basic grid real quick. So I'm just going to come out and then create enough space for us to do our agricultural area, and then I think I'm going to follow this road as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and just move all of our agricultural buildings to this section of the grid layout, and then we should be all done. I think we can just delete the rest of the buildings. There really shouldn't be too much left. All right, and there we go. So I just basically moved everything over. I expanded it a little bit, and I think it's really going to help us out to make a little more money, but then I just did some trees in here to cover up some of the lines. And I think it looks really good. So these are all corn, these are cotton, and then these are some wheat, and then I did some more wheat down here, and then we still have our milking parlors and our animal pens, and then I moved all our warehouses, and so now we should be able to pretty much delete everything over here. So I think our power can afford to lose this one. So let's go ahead and get rid of this and see how low it brings us down. I'm pretty sure those are only 80 megawatts though. So let's play. Yeah, we're still pretty good. And so now let's go ahead and just delete everything in here. I'm just going to basically make it a clean slate. Okay, so I ended up deleting this whole space, and I ended up deleting this whole space as well. And so now what we need to do is take a couple things into consideration. So we deleted this through road that brings access to this freeway connection right here. And then we had a tram road that went along the back. And so what I think we're going to do is add in probably a 4-lane tram road back here. And it actually is going to help out this area quite a bit, because a lot of the trucks that are coming from this way are using the on-ramp right here. And now they'll be able to turn and then go here. And so it actually kind of saves the traffic in this area a little bit. And so the idea is for us to do the stadium right here. And then we're going to do a little Olympic village right here. And I think we're going to do the aquatic stadium, and then we'll do some residential, and then probably a hotel as well. And so a couple things I was looking at a few of the Olympic stadiums on the internet, and it seems to be a pretty common theme that there, is going to be a lot of people. And so they try to separate where the people are from the roadways, since the stadiums need a lot of road access too. And so we're going to need to do some warehouses. We're going to need to do some receiving areas. But then what I was thinking is we'll do an elevated pedestrian area. So we will jump in here first. Let's go ahead and pull up our stadium just so that we know what we're working with. Unfortunately, it doesn't act like a regular stadium. And so what we're going to do is actually cheat a little bit. And so we are going to grab this other stadium that I have, this AFL stadium. And this is actually the stadium that we're going to be using on the other end of the city. This one does act like a regular stadium. And so what I'm going to do is kind of cheat a little bit, and we're going to delete the sections all the way around until we just have basically the front section. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. And I'm pretty sure that's about as divided as we can get. It looks like we can delete that too. Yeah, there we go. And so now what we have left is just the area for people to come in, which I think is fantastic. And so now what we can do is go ahead and move this underneath it. And this is really going to help us to capture just a better vibe in here. And so we're actually going to make it a little bit lower than our stadium is. And then we're going to place it at the front so that people still move in the correct direction. So we're going to come up here. We're going to shift this over. And then what I want to do is kind of line up the stairs a little bit so that we at least look a little realistic here. And then what we need to do after this is kind of level out our ground. Kind of got ahead of myself a little bit, which is okay. I just wanted to place this down. And so now we have that. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And then I'm just going to line this up. And it actually looks really good once it's all done. You can cover up pretty much all the road access, just tuck it all in there so you can't even see it. But then now it operates like a stadium. And so now we can come in here, go out of the bulldoze tool, and choose our lovely stadium if we can grab it. Yeah, right there. And look at that. Nice. So we still have 2,000 capacity, which is quite a bit. I'm not really sure where the Sims are going to go once they're in the building, but I think it's going to be cool. We're actually going to have crowds coming in. And so that's really what I was trying to look for, was just having to manage the crowds. And so now what I want to do is jump in here and go ahead and level this out. And so we are going to come in here, increase our brush size. We're going to choose this as our desired height. And then we are going to literally just go all the way around. Yeah, this is going to be great. Really excited for you guys to see this. This is a really cool design. It took me a while to figure out, but I think it came out just fantastic. And so I think we will lower this side down to be a more appropriate height. So we'll go like right here. And then what we're going to do is actually do some key walls in here. So we're going to come up like right here. And then I think we will just soften this up. We'll make it into a little bit of a slope. And then we're going to end up doing key walls right there too. So I'm not really worried about that right now. And so let's jump into water structures, I believe. Nope. Yeah, water structures. And we will come in here, stone key decorated. And what we're going to do is go ahead and tuck this key underneath this bridge, since these keys don't make a really good connection. We're going to come in here, and what we're going to do is try to follow our circular design that we have here. So we're going to end up coming in a little bit from here. It's not going to be perfect, but it's still going to look pretty good. And so, all right. And so it looks pretty good. We just got to let it flood real quick. You can kind of see where I caved out, where I dug out the ground right there. I think I'm just going to clean up this edge a little bit more while we're letting this flood real quick. Hopeful that it doesn't flood our city too bad. All right, and so while that is flooding, what I want to do is continue our key wall down here, and I'm going to go ahead and attach it up over here. All right, and so I got the key wall set up, and it does look like our poor city is being flooded quite a bit. We should have our little water trucks out here. Yeah, there's one right there. And it is flooding our downtown a little bit too. Not a lot, but just enough. We'll probably get some damaged buildings in here. Kind of sucks. I mean, it was just because we did such a large area, and then I ended up leveling out so much of that coastline. And so it'll be okay. Those trucks will suck it up. We'll have to kind of go back through and see if any buildings got damaged. This would definitely be something where the city would probably fire us and be super upset. Like, look at all these poor cars. They're just floating away. Somebody save them. All right. And so while that is happening, we really can't do anything about it. I think this is one of our little, our disaster response helicopter. So he's going to go save some people. Go ahead and check this out real quick. Let's see if we have, do we have a gazebo down here? Oh yeah, look, it got demolished. So he's going to go and search for any survivors and then make it so that it can be rebuilt. It's actually kind of a cool system that they have for these. So then you get all these people that come out, and they have a little rescue dog too, and they just kind of search for people. And then once they are done, they leave. The helicopter goes somewhere else. So it says coordinating rescue work, returning to base, and then this is now able to be rebuilt. You get this little icon, and then this button appears that says rebuild, and so there you go. We have our gazebo back, and so they will fly around anywhere else that a building has collapsed, especially since we had such a large water thing. Flooding action. It's just terrible. And so now that we have leveled this out, what I want to do is just grab these real quick and just make sure that they're the correct height. Let's go ahead and grab that one as well. And so let's go ahead and move this. I want to put this in the middle. So we're going to grab this, and I want the entrance to be towards that road. So we're going to go probably about like right there. And then what we're going to do is actually lower this down. So we're going to Control H right there. And so the idea is that our walking areas will be on this natural terrace right here. And then we will create our road layouts, and then probably a little tram station down here. I think a tram station would be good on this lower level. These stadiums are kind of finicky. And so now we will just level this out real quick just so that we can kind of see the stadium. And I want to do a ton of really cool stuff. I think there's a lot of great opportunities with this. And so we're going to come like this. We're going to just go like that. We're going to make this the bigger section. And then we're going to have this go all the way around. Probably about like right. That's probably good. We don't want to go too crazy. But then we are going to have this road come in. And so let's go ahead and use the picker mod. We're going to grab this. This is going to be one of our main entrances to the stadium. So we're going to come right here, and we're going to turn on snapping. And we'll have it go like right there. Did I put the entrance? Yeah, there you go. And let's go ahead and use the slope tool on that as well, just to make sure that we have a nice even grade on that. So we're going to go like that. And then let's come over here now, and let's choose a nice 4-lane tram road. So I think we're going to go like this. And let's grade out this back section back here. We'll still have a little bit of a walking path in here, but it's not going to be our main walking area. So we're going to come like this. And then what we'll do is use that road to basically follow the key wall all the way out. So we're going to come like this. We're going to go straight. And then we're going to have this follow the key wall. And what we're going to do is curve it in. And then what we'll do is jump into the slope tool, grab this, and then grab our bottom node. And we want this to just be a nice even slope in here. And so now this is going to be our main little tram hub, and then also where people can park within the parking garages. And then this will be pretty much, one of the main entrances on the road. This will be if you're dropping somebody off or just coming to the stadium. And so now let's jump in here, and I want to start designing out our little terraces. And I want to do something cool here. So I want it to follow the outside of the stadium, and I want it to be broken up. So I think we're going to do 4. And so we will come in here. We're going to go straight. And then we will have it curve and then come down. And then we will have another entrance right there. So we're going to come right here. And then what we're going to do is curve this up. Go like that. Go like that. And then we should be able to connect this up. Let's just line that up real quick. And go into this tool. And bring this straight. And then we're just going to straighten this out. We'll come back through and clean that up even more. And so let's actually remove zoning on this side while these buildings are all growing in. We need this space. And then what we're going to do is actually create a little entrance in here. This was one of the cool things that I saw on Google Maps when I was looking at some of these stadiums, was that they had really intricate designs. You got to imagine for a lot of these cities, this is possibly one of the biggest events they've ever done. And so they tend to sink in billions of dollars. So we're going to come up here, and then we're going to go diagonal again. And then we're going to come up here, and then we're going to follow the road. And then what we're going to do, I think about like right there. I want to be about the same distance from it as this is. And then we are going to curve this one down as well. So we're going to come like right there. And I want to try to follow the curve of the stadium. It does look like we're a little bit further out on this side. So I'm actually going to delete these real quick and just extend it a smidge. Nice. There we go. And so now let's go ahead and do another one over here. We want to start at the same side. We're going to come up over here. Then we're going to come up over here, and we're going to actually leave space in the back for another road back here. And then we will probably go about like right there, and then come up here. And remember, we want to be at about the same distance from the stadium. So then we're going to go like that, and then we're going to jump back into the freeform tool. And it looks like we're a little off again, so I'm just going to jump in here, and I think we're just going to grab this node, bring it up just a little bit. I'm going to turn back off snapping. I'm going to go like this, and we're just going to soften those up a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It does look like this one's still a little bit further away. We may come back through and redraw that. So we're going to end up doing another one as well. We're going to come in here, and I'm going to create enough space in here for us to do a road. So we are going to turn this, and then we are going to do a slant. And then what we're going to do is have this come up here and then turn sideways again and then curve in. And it looks like this one's probably the closest of all of them. So we're going to go like that. And you know what? That actually turned out pretty good. Nice. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. And then we're going to leave this side open, and then we'll probably even make an opening over here to lead over to the parking areas. But now what I want to do is jump in here, and we're just going to bring them all to the same height. So let's go ahead and choose... I think this one over here is perfect, so we're going to control H right there. All right, and there we go. And so one of the cool things with this, because we didn't go too high, we are off the ground here, but we're actually a little bit closer to the ground back here. And so what I'm going to do is actually delete these. And what this is going to do is allow areas for people to actually just walk in here, which I think is going to be fantastic. And so we will leave this one open because we're going to do a road right here. We'll actually get rid of that as well. Nice. And so now what that's going to allow us to do is incorporate some other builds into here. This wasn't originally part of my plan, but I think this is such a great idea. So then we are going to come in here, and let's go ahead and level this out and just bring this all the way around. We obviously want these to be level, and so we're going to go like this, bring it all the way around. It looks like we have some invert segments right here. So I'm going to jump into the network multi-tool again, just kind of flip those around. And it really fixes your ground as well. It's like the second it flips, everything's just working out well. It does look like because we're on the ground back here, we're having some issues. So I think what we'll do is raise this one up just a little bit more because we're having some issues with the ground back there. My test builds, I ended up building this much higher, but after looking at it, I was like, man, I'd rather it be closer to the ground. So I think we're going to go like this. Yeah, I think this will be good. And then I think we'll actually do this one at the same height because we're going to have that road off the back. And one of the main points to doing this is to protect your pedestrians from cars. Nice. And so I'm going to go ahead and redraw this back in real quick. Nice. And there we go. And so now what we are going to do is something a little crazy. I want to do a water feature around this. And so it does look like because we're so close to that road, we're having some issues. Let's go ahead and flatten this out real quick. Nice. And so now what I want to do is, and we kind of got a little bit ahead of ourselves, we'll go ahead and delete this segment real quick. And we are going to create a waterway that comes in here and goes around. And so we'll go ahead and delete this. Let's go ahead and just delete that whole middle section. And then we are going to come in here. I don't want to go too deep. I think we'll go like right about there. And we're going to have this come in. And I want it to be on the key wall so that we can still get some road access on the other side. So we're going to bring this all the way around. And then we're going to bring it up like right here. And I think we're going to go a little bit wider on this. Nice. There we go. And so now let's just come in here and clean up this section a little bit. We're getting a little bit of clipping, which is understandable. I think it's just because of that other section in there. And so what I'm going to do is actually bring these back a little bit further. I thought this was going to be enough space, but it looks like it's not. So I'm just going to clean it up real fast. And there we go. So I cleaned it up a little bit. We are going to come back through and clean up our edges just a smidge. But this is just going to allow us to get a little bit closer to that key wall because this is really so important for this, especially so that we can still get that road on the other side. But then just to make it look clean, like how we were getting that clipping with the stadium. So we're going to come back in here and just draw it all the way back. And this is really going to allow us enough space. So now we'll bring this up here. And you know what? I think that looks pretty good right there. I'm just going to clean this up real quick. And then we will put in a water source and then start doing our roads around the stadium. And there we go. So I cleaned it all up. I did a key wall on the inside and all the way around the outside. And so now all we need to do is hook up this road and then hook up a road around the outside, hook up these roads, and then start doing some decorating and stuff. And I think it already looks really good. I did have to set this pretty far back because the front really wanted to clip. I wasn't too worried about it because I think we're just going to do some truck access back here. And so we could say that this area of the stadium wasn't really intended for pedestrians as much, even though somebody could just kind of walk all the way around. And so now what I want to do is go ahead and draw this road in. And there we go. And so now we can unpause and actually, you know what, pause. Let's put in our water source real quick. So we're going to drop a water source back here. We're going to bring it all the way down. And we want it to be at the top of the key wall. And you know what? I think that's probably good right there. We'll go ahead and hit play, let that kind of flood in. It should get enough water from the river as well, but it ends up getting really low without the water source. So I think it's really the only way we can get it to look good. And so while that is filling up, let's go ahead and do our small tram station back here. So we are going to jump into a small tram road, and I think we're going to do trams all the way around. I think that could be fun. And so we will grab this. Is that a dedicated tram road? So 2-lane, 1-way. No, we don't want 1-way. So we are going to grab, I believe it's this road, 2-lane, 2-way road with tram, no parking. Perfect. And so what we're going to do is grab this road, and we're actually going to use the parallel road tool because I want this to be literally right on that key wall. So we're going to grab this, and we're going to come all the way around. And this is really just going to help us capture that symmetry again. So we'll come up over here, and we'll go like right there. And then I think we will bring it a little further out. I think, you know, that's probably good right there. So we'll hit enter, and then let's go ahead and look at it on this backside and see how it looks. You know, it actually doesn't look bad, and it looks like the road actually went below it. I think that actually looks kind of interesting. I do wish that this could be moved forward just a little bit more, though. I wonder if we can just go like that. Yeah, there we go. I got it to fit. It's not clipping, which is great. It does clip underneath the water a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. I think it's going to look good, and we can kind of clean up these holes a little bit once it stops flooding. I'm just going to go ahead and let it flood real quick, and then we will start doing this road layout and then decorating the plateaus. Okay, so we are done flooding, and man, it looks really good. I went ahead and turned this into a bridge piece. I think it looks really good. I think our road around looks really good. I was able to move this forward. It does give us this little bit of a bump right here, but it does go away just a little bit whenever you jump in here and then smoothing out this edge. So I think once we're done, we'll probably either have to put in some trees or something in there to kind of clean it up. And so now what I want to do is go ahead and hook up our road. So we're going to use the picker mod. We are going to grab this road, and we are just going to turn it to unmodded, and we're going to come across and connect it up. And I don't really want it to be a suspension bridge. I feel like that's going to be a little bit weird. We actually don't need that to be, I guess we could have it be a tram road. I initially wasn't going to do that, but we are going to upgrade it though. We're going to go back to this road. Yeah, nice. Look at that. And then what we can do is just come in here, and we're going to raise this up just a little bit. Not a lot. We're not having any walking on this key wall, so it's really not the end of the world for it to be on top of it. I do want a road to come back here though, so we're going to grab this. We're going to go to unmodded again. And so we will bring this back, and I would prefer it to be level with that key wall, but it looks like it's going to be kind of finicky. I'm going to go ahead and turn off snapping just so that we can get that right. I'm going to turn it like right there. And then we are going to do the same thing here and just have it go straight. I do want it to be straight though, so we're going to go like right there, and then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to grab this node, level it up right there, and then we will turn on snapping for the move it mod, move this forward, and you know what, that's actually good right there. Yeah, that's golden. And then we can just move this forward. Nice. Because we're not having any fairies in here or anything, so it's not really pertinent for us to have. Oh, look, we even got a little tram like turning around on this thing. I think that looks great. And so let's go ahead and put in another road right here. We are going to grab a 4-lane road with some trees. Yeah, we'll go like right there. I think that looks pretty good. And then we are going to go back in here and turn these to bridge pieces. And I actually think we will turn this one into a ground piece. All right, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and move this node into the middle. I'm going to upgrade this other segment back to a bridge piece. And then what we'll do is jump into the node controller and then create another node right there. Perfect. And then we can downgrade this piece to a ground piece. And then now what we can do is just raise up this piece. Yeah, there we go. Nice. I think that looks pretty good. And then we will go in here, clean that up. There you go. I think this looks pretty good. I kind of wish this one was similar distance, but it's because it's so much lower. So it's not the end of the world. I'm going to go ahead and jump in here though, and we're going to create a nice even slope on this side. I think that looks pretty good. We can even jump into node controller and create a nice slope out of this. Yeah, there you go. Nice. And so what I was really hoping for was when you're coming up here, like especially look at this road. This is super grand right here. This is actually really cool. I've been to a lot of pretty cool stadiums too, and I think whenever you're driving up to them, because they're such big buildings, they're really cool to see, and so I'm glad that we were able to capture some of that. And so now let's go ahead. We are going to do a couple small tram lanes back here. So we're going to jump in here. I want to go to a tram only road. We're going to go to this one, and then what we're going to do is just create a couple connections. So we're going to go like that, and then we're going to go 3 down. And we're going to go like that. I think that's probably good. We're really not going to get too much tram action back here, and so I don't want to go too heavy. Let's go ahead and look at our tram roads, though, because I think we had a couple stops in here, something that was miss. So it does look like we had something go terribly wrong right there. I think this was just our industrial line, because then where's our purple line go to? So let's go ahead and jump in here and find out which lines these are. We have so many trams, it's kind of an issue, but I think if we go... So there's the red one, tram number 4. Let's look at it. So we have nobody on here. I want to say this was just our industrial line. Let's see if we can loop it around. So tram number 4. Yeah, it literally just went down here and then it would turn. So we're actually going to turn tram number 4. We're going to delete this. We are going to create another line. We're going to come in here, and I believe it had its own bay. It did right there. So we're going to grab this, and we are going to come down this way, stop right there, and we should probably upgrade that to a tram as well, but I'm going to have this turn left and then just terminate. And so let's find this purple line now. I believe, is it 3? Yeah, 3. So where does 3 go? So 3 actually does exactly what we just did. That's so funny. I'm guessing it was just 2 industrial lines, but I'm not sure what the red line was. We may need to come back through here and adjust this, because I wonder if maybe we just deleted a tram line over here too. So I think we are going to go ahead and upgrade some of these roads to tram roads, since our tram network is definitely expanding. So having these connected up would be good, especially just for the tram system. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So now trams can access over there, but then I think we're going to go ahead and upgrade these as well, because we have tram access on this side, and so it would make sense. Let's go ahead and turn on collision so we don't get a bunch of trees. Let's have this come all the way down, go underneath our terminal, or our interchange, and keep going. Come on, you can do it. There you go. So now our whole tram line hooks up over here, which is great. So we can come down here. We can even do some more stops and even expand this way maybe, because then we can service our new agriculture area. We'll leave that for a future episode. So now let's jump back in here and see. So we got the one. I honestly think that's probably good. Maybe we'll just do one going the opposite way now. Okay, so I hooked that up to this opposite station, and so now we have a loop going this way and that way, and I put them both on the same station, like I said before, so that we can leave some room for maybe expanding to other areas a part of this complex. And so now what I want to do, I want to put in a huge fountain right here. I'm going to use surface painter all the way around. And then I think we're going to use some planters. I went ahead and copied some of the planters that I've done before, but I also created this fountain. So we are going to import this probably about like right there. And then I think we just need to lower it down. Yeah, so I'm just going to use the selection tool. We're going to go like this. And what I'm going to do is just bring this down to the ground. And there we go. And these are working water fountains too. So this is really cool. I just did a curb around the outside and then just did water assets. And it kind of looks like some of my water actually disappeared. So I'm going to jump in here, search up water. I'm going to turn off vanilla, and we're just going to go over to these round pieces. And what I'm going to do is go like this, drop this down, and we need to go a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to this 16. And basically what I do is I just turn that on, and then you got to hit it at least 5 times so that you get it a little bit thicker, because the problem with this is it's really translucent, and so if you only do 1 or 2, it just doesn't look as real. And so this is just a really easy way to do a nice fountain. And so now what we're going to do is jump in here, and I got our little circle planters as well. And so we don't have enough space to do them all the way around. So I think what we're going to do is 3 on each side. So we're going to go ahead and place that, and then I'm going to get out of copy mode. And I'm going to grab this curb that is floating in the air, since I don't think this would be really what we're going for here. And I'm just going to bring it down to the ground. Ooh, looks like I forgot one side. And we'll go right there. And then what we're going to do is just select this and then copy it. And so we're going to go about like right there, and then we're going to go right there, and then we're going to do 3 on this side as well. So I think we're going to go like right there, yeah, right there. And you know what? I think that looks really good. It's an easy way to clean it up, but then also leave the front open for people to kind of walk around and see. And I think we're going to do some little stalls for people to walk up to. And so now let's jump into Surface Painter, and let's go ahead and paint pretty much all of this as concrete. And then I think we're going to do this as concrete as well. And then we're going to come in and decorate it. So we're going to go like this. Let's go ahead and do this. And you know, let's just go all the way down. But then I think we will do some grass in here too. So we'll go like that. And then what I want to do is do just some smaller planters and then some sheds and stuff. So I'm going to put in some little stalls around the outside. And then I think I'm going to put stalls above these little bumps as well, just so that we can hide them. And then I'm going to do some planters on this side just so that we can get some green in here rather than just having it all concrete. And so I think it's going to look really good. All right, so I finished decorating it. I did these planters around the outside with our lovely fountain, and then I did some grass in the middle with some concrete around and some of the zoo paths in here. And then I did 2 more fountains back here because I just wasn't really sure what to do with this space. I ended up putting a couple planters just so if anybody did want to walk over to the edge and kind of view our capital district and all that, they could. But otherwise I wasn't really sure what to do here, and so I kind of left it empty. And then I went ahead and put in these small little commercial, like almost like shops or stands, since this would kind of be almost like a festival. I know when the Olympics are going on, there's just so many people in town, and so it really ends up being a place where you can go and kind of have fun, just walk around and then view some of the events and do some shopping and stuff. And so these stalls would just have a ton of different things in them. And so now what I want to do is work on our little receiving area. And so we do need to do a road across. And so I think we are going to do a bigger road. And this doesn't need to be a fancy road, but we are going to connect it up like right about here. We're going to have it come across, and then we will have it turn. Okay, so we need to be really mindful with this area. I want to fit a warehouse back here, but I really want to get one of these bigger ones. Because this is such a big venue, it would be safe to assume that there would just be a ton of goods that need to be delivered. So I think if we can fit that big one in there, it's just going to be the most realistic for what we're trying to go for. So I think we'll go like that, and then what we're going to do is set it to commercial zoned goods, and basically this would operate as the receiving dock for our stadium. And so let's actually turn this away from this bridge piece too. I don't really want that. So we're going to go like that, and then let's clean up this bridge too while we're at it. So we're going to raise this up, and we'll probably go about like right there. I think that looks good. And you know what? I think this whole little receiving area looks good. It's definitely better than a bunch of smaller warehouses. And that's initially what I was going to do, but I felt like it was just a waste of space to put a bunch of the small ones when in reality it would just be a big one. And so now let's go ahead and put in some parking garages. And I was originally hoping to get 2 big ones, but I think we're going to be kind of tight on space. Because this is so close to our downtown, though, it would be safe to assume that there would just be a lot of hotels and other parking amenities in the area. People would be staying here. They wouldn't just be coming for a one day thing. At least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. So we're going to jump in here, and we're going to go to parking garage. And we're going to do this big one. And then I think we're going to fit a couple of these small ones in where we can. So I think right there is probably good. And we will do some office space back here. These would just be the companies that maybe are only in town while something's going on. And so they have a place to rent out for the week or however long the event is. And then we will come in here and go like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and do some trees around it, make it look more natural. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty good, and it satisfies our demand for commercial zoned goods. Let's go ahead and check this. Yeah, commercial zoned goods balance. So that should be good, and it's going to start importing from our cargo hub right there. It should also be importing from the city. And so now what I want to do is work on these upper sections. So we need to provide access from here over to here. And so I think what we're going to do is create a little bit of a bridge, because we really want people to be able to get over there. So I think we will come from here. What we're going to do is go up. And you know what? That looks pretty good. I think we're going to raise this up just little bit more. Actually, you know what? That's not bad. Because then it kind of slants as you walk over here, and we're actually going to bring this down just a smidge. And then basically what these are up here is just more of the like festival grounds where people can go shopping, kind of walk around. And then based off of what I saw online, there's a ton of different unique designs that get made out of these areas too. And so I think we are going to bring this down. And then what we're going to do is follow this across, and then we will have this one follow the key wall all the way down. And we'll have it go like right there. I think that looks pretty good. And then we will have it come down and then turn. I'm going to go ahead and turn off snapping because it's attaching to some weird stuff. So we're going to go like right there. And then what we will do is have this connect up. Like right there. I think that looks pretty good. And then let's go ahead and do some vertical lines through here. So we're going to have it go like right there. And then let's see how far that was. It's about 9 units. So we'll go out like right there again. We'll have this come up. And we'll have it go down. And then we're going to do 9 units out again. And it looks like it's going to be right next to that key wall, which is great. So we're going to go like that. And then we're going to come back down. And then what we're going to do is just randomly connect these across. What we're going for is a more abstract design with this. Something that looks good, but then allows some space for us to do some other things in here. I do want this to connect up though, so I'm going to slide this just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Nice. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and copy that pattern over here and over here and over here. And then we're going to start filling it in with some stuff. I want to do some tents. And I want to create a couple little venues. Like I have an outdoor venue where they could do like a concert or something. Just kind of make it look good. We're going to do some bridges across as well. All right. So I went ahead and got the basic layout done. I went ahead and added in a couple assets. I turned the whole area into a park, so that we could place down some of these park plazas, but then I also did these little tents around the outside so it could be kind of like a food festival kind of vibe. I think it looks really good. And so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and do some planters in the middle. Probably going to place a few more parks, and then we will clean it up, make it look really good for the area. Okay, and so here we go. I think it looks really good. I went ahead and just put in some trees and planters around the outside. I wanted to fill it up with trees, but then also leave some room for socializing and just kind of hanging out. So I put in some gazebos to attract people up here. And then it's kind of funny, we actually have like an event happening or something. I made sure that our stadium is set up. We don't have a match right now, but I think a combination of just having all these commercial buildings down here and then also the stadiums is just causing everybody to come down here. It's kind of crazy. There's just so many people. It's like everybody from our area is just coming here. They're just all coming here. Everybody's like, yay, this is just the greatest. From all directions too. I mean, look at this. This is, I'm just not even sure what's happening, but they're all just coming from our transit terminal, probably from outside the city too. Like, look at this stop. Let's look at this. So 1,500 people. So I didn't mess with any of the buildings or anything. This is just happening. And so now we're gonna have to bump this up. These are all people trying to get over to our area. So this is kind of crazy. There's just, I don't know what's happening, but it's good that it's, well visited. This is kind of what we designed it for. And so if you guys enjoyed this episode, you will definitely enjoy the video on your screen. On the next episode, we are going to be expanding our parking capabilities. We are going to be doing an Olympic village here. So residential, the aquatic stadium, like I had mentioned before. But then we are also going to be building a big stadium over here with an end of line station. And so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next episode.